Okay guys, what's going on? It's Salvajee, and here we are. We're back at it again with another episode of my Widowmaker map guide series. So if you're new to this series, I'm going to be teaching you guys some general / beginner Widowmaker spots for all of you guys that are getting into Widowmaker. And I'm also going to be showing you guys some secret / rarely used spots that could be very helpful. Now, not only am I going to be showing you guys the spots though, I'm going to be telling you guys, you know, what they're used for, you know, what's like the purpose of a specific spot, you know, what's a specific strategy that you can do with a spot. Basically, Widowmaker spots in depth, alright? So this is a really good spot if you're okay. So this isn't a good spot, okay, but this is a situational / good spot if your teammate is being spawn trapped. Okay, you guys can go through the left route of Hollywood, and then you guys can just snipe the people that are over here. It's not great, it's not amazing, but it is a pretty decent spot, and of course, you know, a spot that might be able to you know, help you out one day. So as you guys know, there's a really popular spot in this map for Widowmaker. It's that little balcony type area. What you guys want to do every single match, if you think the enemy team's gonna have a Widowmaker, you want to go towards the right, and then you want to aim your weapon over here, and then you guys want to be close to the car, and then you guys want to aim towards that specific spot right there. If she's camping over there, this is basically going to make her really easy to hit and you very hard to hit. And of course, on the top right side of the screen, I'm going to show you guys the other perspective in a screenshot as well. Okay, this little street right here isn't used as much. Sometimes Widowmakers like to camp up there. As you guys can see, this is going to be sort of like a good area for you to have a nice angle on her, while also making it a bit harder for her to see you. This spot right here, very general, it's used a lot, but of course in this series I will talk about mostly every single spot. Okay, another spot that not a lot of people use is at the beginning of the map. You guys want to come over here, and as you guys can see, you have access to this high ground, that high ground, and this high ground as well as the point. Okay, keep in mind however that if there's a Widowmaker camping up there or in here, she's gonna see you first before you see her. Okay, so that's something that of course, you know, you might want to know. Okay, so a lot of Widowmakers, they like to camp up here to get a cheeky headshot, you know, to get like a free elim. And a lot of them also like to camp up here. This is also really good. However, you can have the element of surprise, and you guys can just grapple on over here. And as you guys can see, you're going to be over here in this area right here. It doesn't have a lot of visibility, but you guys can snipe the people that come from over here, from this door. Okay, if you move a little bit towards the left, okay, oh never mind, yeah, if you move a little bit towards the left, you're probably gonna fall. Back in the day, you were able to get on top of this little spot right here, but of course they patched that. Now, when you're attacking with Widowmaker, let's say you're over here, obviously the ideal thing to do is to grapple on over here, because it gives you access to the point as well as of course this high ground area, all of that good stuff. However, one of the things that a lot of players don't do is they basically stay up here basically throughout the entire time that the team fight is happening. Keep in mind, you're Widowmaker, you know, you can be very mobile. You guys can switch from this position to this position over here. Okay, this position is good because it will give you access to this area right here, as well as of course the entire point. However, it doesn't really give you a lot of visibility when it comes down to this little area over here. So that's why this spot is really good. It's going to be really high up in the air, which means that the people that come from here, you're most likely going to see them before they see you. Okay, keep in mind, when you're playing Widowmaker, you do want to be unpredictable most of the time, that is. When you're of course on the attack, you guys can also use this spot right here, but of course it is used by a lot of people. But again, this series is all about showing you guys the general spots / beginner spots, because not everyone has been playing Widowmaker forever. A lot of Widowmakers like to camp up here. This is also of course, you know, a very smart area to camp. However, a Genji sometimes might jump on you. You guys can just use this as a way to escape. It honestly works really well. Another thing that you guys can use is these little bushes right here. You guys can shoot through these bushes while a team fight is going on at the point. It's very helpful. It's not a super crazy spot, but it's a spot that can help you out a lot if of course you're one of the last people alive, and you know there's like a tank and a healer on the point, and you know there's people that keep coming to the point. If the enemy team doesn't know where you're shooting them from, they're just not going to be able to counter you. You guys can grapple on to this little area right here, and you guys can have access to this little street, as well as of course these stairs right here, and of course this spot, which is obviously pretty basic. If you watch a lot of Widowmaker videos from basically anyone that's good at Widowmaker, they do this jump shot a lot. Okay, it's a really good jump shot, and of course I recommend that you guys do it whenever you have a chance. Now, a lot of players, they basically hook over here, and sometimes they basically hit this roof over here, or they basically just cross over to the other side. To avoid that, make sure that you guys are looking straight forward, like straight up, and then you guys hit this little border right here, and then you jump, of course, as soon as you're about to reach the top. You guys can also use this tree. However, I actually don't like to use this tree because sometimes this tree is really buggy. Like now it's connecting because I'm recording, but sometimes this tree is buggy. One of the things that I like to do though, when I'm on defense with Widow, I like to camp up here behind this car, and then I like to use the tree because no one is really going to expect a flying Widow strat. When you're attacking, you guys can also use this spot right here. It gives you this access to this little area right here. Maybe there's a soldier coming up, all of that good stuff. Also, you have a pack right here as well. Okay, so let's say that a soldier damaged you, you guys can just come up here and basically get the pack, okay? Just in case your Mercy is like healing a tank or something like that. When you're attacking with Widowmaker, this spot right here, it's also very useful if of course there's a team fight going on over here. You guys can also grapple on over here and then, you know, move to this area right here where the team fight's taking. If you're defending with Widowmaker, this is also a very good spot because it gives you access to this area right here. If you go a little bit down the stairs, you guys also have access to this health pack location. Now, why am I telling you guys this obvious spot? Well, I'm telling you guys this obvious spot because a lot of players know it, but a lot of players don't know what this spot actually does. Let's say there's a Sombra on the enemy team. She's probably going to translocate to that health pack, right? So let's say that you're camping up there, you know, Sombra translocated, one of your teammates told you that. You guys can just aim to this little area right here, and it's most likely going to be a guaranteed headshot. This little area right here when you're defending with Widowmaker also helps out, just because you can basically help out with a team fight at ground level, and then you can grapple on over here and of course get the high ground area. Something that I don't see a lot in public matches and casual play and quick play is this spot right here. It's actually a good spot. You have access to the stair area and you have access to this little open area right here. Also guys, this little first floor, it's really good because you can snipe people that are coming to the point, and of course constantly grab the health pack, which means the healer has one less person to worry about. Something I should also mention is that from this spot, you can snipe people that come over here that are in this position, and then if they run away, you guys can grapple on over here and maybe finish them off if they back away to the healer. It's something that I rarely see in quick play and competitive. If you're coming over from the defense side of things, you guys can grapple onto this area right here to kill the enemies that are on this side. Or of course, you guys can grapple on over here and kill the enemies that are on the... When you're on the defense side of things, this spot is also very useful because of course most people are going to be fighting on the point, while of course you're going to be sniping them from here. Let's say that you're also in this cafe area right here. You see that the enemy team is about to push. You see that the Reinhardt pushed, his teammates are coming in. You guys can just back away, alright, and back over to this area right here. If there's anyone following you, okay, or you think there's going to be anyone following you, guys can also come over here and grab the health. Alright, so here's a little tip that I'm going to show you guys with Widowmaker on this point. If you guys use her laughing emote or her kissing emote, you guys can see past the door, but of course the door is closed right now. When you're attacking with Widowmaker, the doors are open. There's a Widowmaker camping up there. You guys can use this grapple shot right here, or you guys can also use this grapple shot right here. Now, I would recommend the second one because it's basically going to give you some cover at the beginning, and the first one isn't going to give you some cover at the beginning. Alright, let's move on forward to the second area of the map. You guys can grapple on over here to this roof. It gives you access to some of the county jail, but honestly not that great of an access. However, the reason why you guys want to use this location right here is because maybe there's a Widowmaker on top of the jail, and as you guys can see, you guys can basically peek from left to right as well. Okay, usually I see people coming all the way over here using this grapple and then of course going for the county jail. No, you can actually just do that by going to this rooftop right here. Let's say that there's someone camping in the jail. You guys can use this grapple shot right here and take them out. So this little roof right here isn't as helpful, I guess you could say, but sometimes there's going to be a Widowmaker camping on this little dining slash hotel type area over there, and of course that's a really good opportunity for of course you to take her out. When you guys are attacking with Widowmaker as well, you guys can just come up these stairs and of course have access to this area right here, as well as of course the jail, and of course you guys can also move on forward to this little roof over here and have access to this spawn area right here, as well as of course the other door and the jail area. This spot is pretty obvious and it's honestly one of the most well-known Widowmaker spots, but again, it is something that I need to point out since this series is for those players that are mostly jumping in to Widowmaker and don't really know a lot of great spots. Okay, so not a lot of players know about this spot right here. If you guys jump on top of this little light right here, you guys can look at the enemy spawn. Also, if you guys grapple onto this area right here, you guys can look at the enemy spawn as they are coming out. You guys can look at the jail, and of course you guys can also look at this little balcony right here. Basically overall really useful. Alright, so now that I took care of like the first half of the map, I guess you could say, on attack, let's talk about defense for the first half of the map, basically from here to over there. This spot is classic, guys. If you watch Overwatch League, a lot of pros use this spot. This is basically the spot that they use the most, and the reason for that is because it gives you access to basically where the enemies come from. This is a really good spot. If a Winston jumps on you, you can also grapple on to the health pack. It's really useful. Now, just to let you guys know, you guys can also crouch over here, and as you guys can see, you have access to this line of sight, which is actually really good. This is an area where the payload is at sometimes as well, so if there's a team fight going on in the payload, you guys can support your teammates from over here. Not the greatest spot, but it is a spot that you guys should know about since it gives you a lot of protection, and it's basically, you know, a spot where it's really hard to get you. Also, when you are on the attacking side of things, you guys can also camp in this spot right here. It's not going to give you a lot of cover, again, but it is a spot that not a lot of people see come in, and sometimes, you know, the craziest spots do work the most. When you're on defense at the beginning side, if the payload's over there, there's a team fight going on over there, you guys can shoot them from this spot and then of course grapple on over to this spot right here if of course they do get very annoying. Take a look at another spot from the defensive side of things. So if you're on defense, you can come over here, grapple onto this box, and as you guys can see, you can see the enemy literally as they are almost getting out of this door. Also guys, when you're on defense, you guys can use this spot right here. And you guys can also, like I said previously, you guys can also use this this little spot right here as well to see where the enemy team is coming from. But the reason why I showed you guys those 3 previous spots is because those 3 previous spots are not better than this spot right here. Okay, that's something that I want to point out in this map guide. This is the most dominant Widowmaker spot probably in the entire game, and you guys need to make sure that you guys are using it to the fullest advantage. If the team fight is taking place on the other side, like for example right here, you can basically just be over here, okay, and then if you want, you know, maybe grapple on over here if you know, things get rough. But yeah, keep that in mind, guys. That spot on the defensive side of things is the spot where you always most likely want to be at. Another spot for the defenders, this one right here, when the payload's right there, when the payload's over there by the munitions area, you guys can camp over here and then snipe people. If you see a Winston coming towards you, easy, you just move out or you come over here. Or if you want to debate him, you move out and then you come over here. You're gonna be standing here. Winston's gonna be like, wait a minute, where the hell did she go? I can't really see her, okay? And of course that moves me forward to another spot, okay, in the defensive and attacking side of things. When you're defending, this spot is great. When the payload is a little bit more moved up, you got access to this area, you get access to this area right here, that area over there. Okay, you guys can also get on top of this thing, which is going to give you, you know, a nice view of this, you know, far area right here. Okay, when you're attacking, you guys can of course also use this spot, get on top of this spot. You guys can see over here, over here, over here. Now, most Widowmakers, they usually camp over here because they want to help out on the payload when the payload's over there. Of course, here you guys can also shoot the enemy spawn, okay? But let's say that there's a Sombra on you all the time, right? She might throw a translocator up here, and of course, you know that she's going to be coming from this area or that area. But if you want to be super sure, you guys can also use you know, this little spot right here. Okay, it's a situational type spot, I guess I could say. But if you guys move on all the way over here, if you guys, you guys are sniping the payload, and basically you have more awareness to your right side. So, you're shooting the payload, you hear the translocator, you turn around, you see the Sombra over there. Now you know that you can just go back to your teammates, okay? Because you know where the Sombra is going to be coming from. But of course, it is up to you. This spot right here is a little bit situational, and of course most people like this spot because they can just snipe where the enemies are coming from. If you guys are on the defense side of things, you guys can jump on forward to this spot right here and basically help out when the payload is over there. This spot is basically situational, but I did want to let you guys know about it. This spot basically looks at that entire sightline that you guys are seeing over there, and of course the county jail, which I already mentioned. When you guys are on defense, you guys can also come on over here and then snipe players that are coming from the attacking side, and then you guys can just turn around and basically just grapple on your way to your team. Alright, now we're gonna move on forward to a pretty cheeky area. It's this area right here. Let's say that you are on the defensive side of things with Widowmaker. You come out from that door, you get behind the helicopter. There's a team fight going on over there, so you guys can just use the grappling hook, and bam, as you guys can see, you're basically on top of the meteor. Okay, not a lot of players know about this spot, so make sure that you guys use it to the best of your abilities. It's not a super crazy great spot, but it can help you out when it comes down to players that are coming out from this area as well as that area right there. Also, you guys can also grapple onto this meteor over here, and as you guys can see, it gives you access to all 3 of the doors, basically all 3 of the doors that the enemy has to use. Also, when you want to leave, you guys can just jump over here and bam, you're on your way. This spot right here for defense, it's really good. As you guys can see though, it gives you access to the main gate, but obviously this is a basic spot that a lot of players know about, so it's not really idealistic. Okay, so let's say that you're on defense, the enemy just capped the second point. Okay, you guys can shoot them from this area right here, and then when they come to you, then you want to use the grapple to escape. That's also something that not a lot of players do. So when you're on the attack with Widowmaker, you guys can come on forward to this little area right here, and as you guys can see, you have access to that high ground area where there's an enemy Widowmaker sometimes, and as well as of course other teammates. Maybe there's a payload fight going on over there. This spot right here, it's going to make you a little bit hard to see. However, I do have a better spot for you guys. You guys can also crouch on top of these little crates right here and stand up, or you guys can stand on top of these crates if you like, or you guys can come on over here. This spot is extremely useful, guys, and the reason for that is it's because it's going to be really hard for players that are over there on that side to actually notice you until they actually start seeing your bullet trails. But if there's a team fight going on over there, instead of fighting over there where of course you're supposed to be, like that's the typical Widowmaker spot on attack, you guys can move on forward to this area right here and then just basically start shooting what's this thing called, the people that are on the payload. Alright, let's talk about the defense side of things on the second half of this point. This point right here, it's really good. It gives you access to the little health pack area, as well as of course where the enemies are going to be coming from. And of course you can throw a venom mine over there, and as you guys can see, if there's an enemy that passes by, they're basically gonna get hit by the venom mine. This spot right here, it's also pretty good, but it's just pretty basic. Now, a lot of players like to camp over here with Widowmaker on this little spot right here. This is a really good spot. Obviously, it gives you a long sight line. It gives you, view to the high ground area over there. Okay, but one of the things that you guys can do is you guys can get on top of this satellite right here. Okay, it's basically going to make you a little bit harder to hit, while of course you having a nice sight line. It's a really good spot. Definitely give it a shot. When you're on the defending side of things, you guys can get out through that door over there, and then you guys can just come up here, and as you guys can see, you're going to be able to help out in the team fight as well. When you're on the attacking side of things, you guys can grapple on over here to this area, and then you guys can come over here to this spot. Alright, let's say you're attacking with Widow. This is a situational spot. Instead of being over here taking a look at the enemy spawn, get on this crate, and as you guys can see, now you're basically harder to hit and you're going to be able to get those cheeky headshots. Let's say you want to take a break, boop, just basically, you know, crouch down, and then, you know, you're gonna be able to help out on the team fight.
This time.
Landon's been stalking us the entire game. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for Hollywood. This is a really good spot as well. But again, it's basically just really basic. If you guys enjoyed my Widowmaker map guide for Hollywood, all of the general / beginner spots, as well as some of the secret spots that I showed you guys, hey, drop the video a like and feel free to check out the Widowmaker map guide series in the description.